Welcome everyone to the Asian Voices Youth Radio Podcast. I'm Austin Tong, your host for this special episode where we talk about any and all topics relating to life growing up as Asian and Pacific Islander Americans. On today's show, we're going to be talking to a rising star in the film and media industry. She has made guest appearances on big network shows such as the iCarly revival, performed on American Idol, and played a lead role in the highly acclaimed independent film After Yang, alongside huge stars such as Colin Farrell, Jodie Turner-Smith, and Justin H. Min. Welcome to the show, Malea and her father, Arman. How are you both doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. I'm talking to such a big star today.
Thank you.
So, Malea, for people who don't know, how do you pronounce your last name?
My last name is pronounced Tjandrawidjaja.
Tjandrawidjaja. Is that correct? Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
So, one of the first things I wanted to ask you is, like, for a lot of people in America, they find it hard to pronounce names from other cultures.
Mm-hmm.
Have there ever been times where you felt frustrated that some people either say your last name wrong or just refuse to even try to say it the right way?
Well, yes, there have been some times that I was frustrated because of that, but I know that my last name is hard to pronounce, so I always try to help teach them how to pronounce it correctly because to me, I think that it's important and respectful to be able to say other people's names correctly.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I do think
Yeah.
it's also a
Can I
sign
add
of
something?
respect. Yeah, of
Sorry.
course.
Yeah. I mean, like in the beginning of her career, also like the production asked us like what names that we want to put as a credit, like whether it's just Malea Emma or like with the last name, and it was a discussion between me and my wife, like. Yeah, we realized that we noticed that our last name is very long and it's very hard to pronounce, but we decided that we should and we must like put the last name because that's the indication that she is Asian, like she is Indonesian specifically, and we should be proud of it.
Of course, I think this is a reflection of a new wave, especially with a rise in ethnic stars in order to preserve the culture with our last names. Like, you hear all these stories about, like, 20 years ago, you hear actors from other cultures have to change their name to something more Americanized in order to make it easier to pronounce.
Right.
Because it's more marketable to have an easier to pronounce name, especially when you're getting credits and anything like that in a big network. So I would have to praise you guys for keeping the integrity and the culture there. And I think with how important it is nowadays, people are definitely starting to shift more into respecting that kind of culture and preserving our last names and everything like that.
Right.
So being only 10 years old, you've done a lot of amazing things such as, commercials, TV shows, and recently a feature film. Why don't you tell our listeners what was the inspiration for wanting to pursue this career in acting?
Well, I actually started singing first. Like, I've always loved singing since I was very little. And for that, my inspiration was Christina Aguilera because I thought that her voice is really amazing. And I've just always wanted to be like her. I've always wanted to go on tour and have a lot of concerts and just be able to release albums all the time. And, well, for acting, though, I actually just I I think everyone can relate when I say this, but I really, really like watching TV and watching movies. And I just always sort of imagined myself like what it would be like to be on the big screen and like to see myself on TV. And I thought that was like a really cool thing. And I just thought that it would be like really awesome to be on TV and to be on the big screen and to have a character that looked like me. And so I just really was really interested in being on TV and being on the big screen because I thought it was just really cool to see myself.
That is a great answer, and I think it's very inspirational. Growing up myself, I that is the reason why I wanted to become a writer myself, because I wanted
Mhm.
to tell more Asian American stories. Because growing up,
Mhm.
like you just said, there weren't a lot of us. But I think what's great about your generation is that you're starting to see more Asian American stars or Asian stars in general,
Yes.
and you yourself are contributing to that, because kids are going to see another Asian kid, and they're going to think, wow, that person looks like me. I actually
Yeah.
relate to this character, I actually feel part of a story that's being told. So I
Yeah.
think that's
Yes.
great. I think that's amazing. And for Armand, how did you
Mhm.
actually feel about your daughter's dream to pursue this type of career? Was it something that you were pretty hesitant to support in the beginning, or was it something that you were gung ho right off the bat in helping her achieve?
Well, I guess as parents, like every other parents, like we really want to support whatever that our kids are passionate about, and we can see like especially in the singing. I mean, like we're talking about singing and acting, like always like related to each other, and she's been singing like since she was very very young. So that's what we see, that like this is something that it's a talent, but also it's her passion. So we're trying to give her as many opportunities as we can, so that she can improve her talent and her career in this industry. And so yeah, at first it's with the singing, and then we see that she is also like very interested with the acting. And I think it's good to always nurture the kids talent. And whether we were hesitant, like there's no hesitation at all, because again, like we see her talent and her passion. The thing that might be like a consideration for me and my wife is that, like in this entertainment industry, we hear a lot of not good
Yeah.
stuff about like being kid actors or growing up as an actor in a Hollywood with all the bad influences. So that's something that we really have to pay attention. That we always tell Malaya that, like always be grounded, be so humble, down to earth. Like don't think that you're already like the best of the best. Like there is always something that you need to learn, to grow, to improve. And yeah, and again, like school is always number one. Even though like she is already building her career, she can earn her own money, but school is still number one. Yeah, so we that's something that we always pay more attention, while we're also like helping her to be more successful in this career.
So a follow up to that I wanted to ask is, you mentioned that you sang at a young age and you've been acting since how old again?
For acting, I think it was since I was like 4 years old.
4 years old. Wow. My parents met you, they'd be like, Austin, what are you doing with your life? You're 26 years old, and then look at this little girl, accomplished way more than you.
Thank
Um, to go back into it, for your singing and for your acting, did you have a vocal coach to teach you how to sing, or was that something you self-taught yourself? And for the acting, did you take acting classes? Do you go to performing arts school for children, or is that something you taught yourself and learned while you were on set for things?
Well, for singing, I do have a vocal coach, but for acting, I taught myself.
Oh, impressive, impressive. Wow.
Yeah,
Those are
it's
really
it's
good
it's
things.
actually a suggestion from her manager. So she's been with this manager for a while, and she's actually telling that especially for kids, like it's better not to be like going to the acting class or coach, because they want to be more natural in terms of the acting. So yeah, so we're just doing it ourselves basically. Like I'm helping her whenever she has auditions.
Wow, that's actually something I didn't know. I didn't know that they usually suggest for children to not, or kids not to attend acting school or anything like that. Is that something you want to do when you get older, Malaya? Go to acting school to hone the craft?
Well, I actually haven't thought about it, but I think maybe when I'm older, I could take like some acting classes, not like dependent on it, but just to see what other actors think so that I can have like more ideas on how to make my acting better.
Hey, that's a great answer.
Thank you.
Um, Speaking of acting and referring back to that independent film After Yang, which was your feature film debut, the film received amazing reviews, with almost every news outlet reporting the story, as well as your own co stars praising your amazing performance as the character of Mika. Was
Mhm.
there a scene in the film that you specifically remember being the hardest or most difficult to perform, and why was it difficult to perform?
Well, there weren't any scenes that were more difficult than other scenes, but I guess that Mika is overall a character that's sort of difficult to portray because she's adopted and she just lost her brother, which fortunately I haven't experienced any of that. But I guess it was kind of hard to portray because since I haven't experienced any of that, I didn't really know how she felt exactly. But I I just had to imagine it. I had to imagine like how she would feel, how how Mika is dealing with it, whether she's sad, if she has to grieve, or she's just frustrated all the time. So I mean, yeah, it was kind of difficult to just portray Mika overall, but I guess like imagining it was really helpful, and imagining it was also kind of difficult, but that's what actors do. Like you have to imagine how how you would feel if you were that character. And I guess well, yeah, it was sort of hard to portray, but like no scenes that were more difficult than others.
Did you have any favorite memories on set? Any like pranks that you might have played on any of your co-stars, anything like that?
Well, actually, I was still 7 when we filmed After Yang, and so all my teeth were baby teeth. And right when we were going to start filming, I lost my two front teeth,
Oh.
and so I had to wear flippers. They're technically just fancy fake teeth, and um, so I had to wear those because we didn't film the After Yang scenes in order. So they were just afraid that my teeth would grow in the middle and then it would just all be different. Uh, and I guess that was kind of funny because like every time I wanted to eat something, I had to take it off, and then when I wanted to film another scene, I had to put it back on. So it was just on and off all the time, and I it was just really funny because it seemed like it was growing and then it wasn't. And then it's just I thought it was a very fun memory because my teeth was looking different all the time.
And the good thing about that is because in a movie, like there are some scenes showing as a memory from Yang watching Mika
Mhm.
growing up. So in one of the memory, the director Kokonada asked her not to wear the flipper so that she looked younger. So that you
Oh,
could see like
okay, okay.
she lost her tooth in one of the memory.
That's really funny. That's really, really funny. How was it working for that director? Was he supportive?
Yeah, he was very very supportive, and he he was like really nice. Kogonada is like a very very nice person, and he is very very smart, and like cuz he edited it and he also wrote it and he also directed it. And so he was a really, really nice person. And he actually told me sometimes in like a feature film like this, because After Yang is a very quiet movie, and he said, you have to tone it down sometimes because I've always just been doing like overacting stuff, like sort of
Mhm.
like Disney Channel type of acting, like kind of over the top. and he said tone it down a little just to make it a little bit more natural. So he would always go like this, and he
Yeah.
would he had all these different signals to tell me tone it
Okay.
down.
So you could say that the experience you got on this film was really, really good. It helped teach you a lot, and it helped you
Yes.
grow
Mhm.
as a young actress. So that's amazing to hear.
Yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
for Armand, how was it watching your daughter work with these big industry level actors and directors? Did it give you a glimpse into what kind of future is in store for Malaya? And was it something that you ever imagined happening so quickly in her career?
Yeah, I mean, I answered the last question first. It's no, like it was not something that that we could have imagined that this happened so quickly. So this is a blessing for us. The good thing is that she's been working with a lot of actors and directors who are very very nice, and they're so amazing, like specifically for After Yang, like Colin Farrell. Like I grew up watching him on the movies from the phone booth and everything. Like I know that he's like a big star. Like even before the After Yang, we watched Dumbo together to see Colin Farrell. And yeah, like I love him on Saving Mr. Banks also. Like it's just mind blowing to know that my daughter worked with him. And he is very very humble. Like he is like super down to earth. Like I couldn't ever like imagine that like the A-list actor as famous as he is like that, you know. Like yeah. And he told my wife several times that he really enjoys working with Malaya, that he really thinks that Malaya was born for this. Like he said that he didn't work with kids so many times, but he really thinks that Malaya is very very amazing in acting. So that's a huge compliment that we got. And also like Jodie Turner Smith, like she is just amazing. Like she is a rising star right now. But she's playing as Mika's mom in the movie. But even outside the filming, like she is really acting like a mom for Malaya. Like whenever like we're not there, like we really could trust her to help with Malaya. Like one thing that I still remember, it was during the Cannes Film Festival, because we couldn't go on the red carpet with her for sure. And it's huge event, it's a very big event, it's a huge red carpet, and Jodie is basically like holding her hand all the time. It's the first time for Malaya. Like she's nervous, we're very nervous also. So and Jodie is like basically like always like taking care of her. Like she's like Malaya is her own child. Like she is just super amazing. And Justin and Haley, like we're like family right now. Like we're still in touch with everyone. Like
And yeah, we
yeah,
have a group chat, me, my actual brother, Justin, and Haley, and it's called Siblings.
yeah. Like oh my god, like again, like they're very famous as a young actors, but they're super down to earth. Like we're like family. Like we hang out with Haley so many times. We went hiking together. Yeah, I mean like they're just amazing. So I think it's a they're like very good examples from Malaya. Like we always tell Malaya, you see like all these people, like they're like very famous and very successful, but they're super super down to earth. It's like they're very very humble and very grounded, and that's what we want Malaya to look up to as an inspiration. And hopefully that one day if she is all like in their level, also that she can always remember that she needs to be like them basically.
That's actually amazing to hear. The fact that you guys still maintain a great relationship even after the film just goes to show
Yeah,
the chemistry between actors in this film is 100% authentic. So that's good.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
amazing to hear that you guys still keep in contact, that you guys still have maintain a great relationship. And that partly answers my follow-up question, because I wanted to ask if there's anything you learned from your co-stars in terms of helping you grow as a young actress. Like, did they teach you things that helped you better your craft or anything like that?
Yeah, like my dad said, they were all very, very humble, and I learned that, like, even them, even like the very, very famous and successful actors are very, very humble, down to earth, and kind. And I feel like even people who aren't even as famous as them, sometimes they're not even as kind as them. So like I feel like we all should try to be nicer, because like like I look up to them so much because they are already very successful and famous, and like they still, like, sometimes I feel like they're my family all the time, because like I feel like I don't remember sometimes that they're like super famous and successful, because they're just so nice to me. And like even if we're not filming, we always hang out with each other. We go watch movies, we go have lunch together. And it's just amazing how they're already super big stars, and like they didn't have to be very kind to me, but they did, and they actually were very, very, very nice and humble.
I guess one lesson that I could see from them is that the family foundation is very important. Like I know for sure, like with Colin, Jody, Haley, and Justin, they're very very close with their family, with their parents, with their siblings, with their yeah, like they have like very very good relationship with their family, and I think that's very important.
Well, that's extremely wholesome to hear. Like, I'll tell you that. I'm like,
Yeah,
that makes me glad to hear that they're very down to earth people. For
yeah.
Armand, I know attracting all this attention as a young actress for Malaya, I'm sure it comes with its difficulties, its tribulations. What do you do as her father to help her have fun and de-stress while ensuring that she still maintains a healthy and rich childhood?
Yeah. So one thing that my wife and I decided that until now we still keep her in a regular public school, in a brick and mortar school. Like we didn't homeschool her, which and sometimes it's very tricky with her schedule and everything. But we still try to manage that, like we still want her to feel like as normal as she can, like going to school like any other kids, like having friends. And yeah, I mean, like, and we still we try, like every time she has like let's say gig in out of town or out of country, and we always make it as a vacation. And you know that I have another kid, I have an older son, so we always make everything as a family activity as well. So it's not like only about Malaya, but Malaya, like, and we always like, that's always our requirement. If everyone if and if there is any job for Malaya, that we will go as a family. So we always make it as a family outing basically. Yeah. And she is also like, the thing is with talented kids like her, like they can do a lot of stuff in a very small amount of time apparently. So even though like she has to practice, she has to audition, she has to go to school and doing homework and everything, she can still do a lot of other things like that kids do, like biking and riding scooter, or watching TV. And she loves doing gymnastic and contortion. So yeah, she can do whatever she wants basically, other than the acting and singing career. Yeah.
That's extremely interesting to hear that you have that decision to still have her be in public school. You hear with a lot of
Mhm.
child actors that they're homeschooled or they attend this special schooling program with other child actors. So I think
Yeah.
that's a really, in my personal opinion, I think that's a really good decision in keeping her in public school because
Yeah.
it helps maintain that sense of normality. And I think that also
Exactly.
probably helps keep you Malaya humble and down to earth, and it reminds you of your roots and everything like that, which I think would only help you grow as a
Mhm.
person. And
Hmm.
I think if anything, it would help you grow as an actress too in some unconventional ways.
Yes.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
do you still kind of stress out over normal kid things like, oh, I got to make sure I pass this test, or oh, I have another book report to do. I don't want to read this book.
Yeah. Well, like I do actually, and I guess like it's sort of more pressure sometimes because of my career because like I know that sometimes I'll have less time to study, so I have to do everything really quickly. And I guess that always runs through my mind. Like, I have to pass this test. And because, like, I need to, like, do everything. Um, and I have to do everything faster. But normally, like I feel like a normal kid. I and my school is also very like everyone there is very nice and very kind, thankfully. And I have a lot of friends there, and I trust a lot of people there. So I do feel like a normal kid, and I do stress out over normal kid stuff. I do stress out over doing homework and turning things late in, and then like, but I I do know that I have to do everything quicker so that I'm not only able to do things for my career, but also be able to like be top of the class at school because I feel like that school is very important. So I always try to make time for me to do schoolwork. I always do homework before I do anything else. So when I get home, I do homework. Well, I take a shower first, but then I do homework first. And then I do all my other stuff after I do homework and study. So I guess, yeah, I do stress out over normal kid stuff, I guess. But I always try to make time so that I don't even have to stress out or worry about it.
She is pretty ambitious. I mean, like my wife and I, we know that she's doing a lot of things other than school. So as long as she can be like following the lessons and have a good grade, she always have good grades anyway. It's enough for us. But like this coming school year in the fall, she's going to middle school,
Ooh.
and yeah, and she was the one who wanted to apply to this program that is very competitive program in this middle school. Like from hundreds of applicants, they only have 32 spots. And I told her, I mean, like, you don't have to, like, just go to the regular advanced program is fine to us. You don't have to go to this over the top program. But she said, oh, she wanted to do it anyway, so she did the test, the interview, and a lot of things, like, just to get in. And yesterday we just found out that she got
Oh,
in.
well,
Yeah, so
congratulations.
that's
Thank you.
yeah, so that's all on her, because at first I told her, you don't have to, you don't have to prove it like that. But yeah, she did it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, the final question I want to ask is kind of like a quick little fun one. But are there any projects that you want to do in the future that you hope to do? Like, maybe an animated movie to do voiceover, or maybe a superhero Marvel movie? Anything you want to do in the future?
I I would love to do another feature film.
Mm.
'Cause I had a really fun experience doing After Yang, and I also really want to be a regular on a TV show. And I would also really love to be a Disney princess because I've always wanted to be a Disney princess, and I really like singing as well. And I feel like Disney princesses aren't complete if they can't sing. So uh, I've always wanted to be a Disney princess, and I would love to see more Asian Disney princesses. And also, I really want to be in a horror movie as well because I really love watching horror. So like, I'm really into Stranger Things and The Walking Dead, and I just really want to be in a horror movie. And I also really want to be in like a fantasy show or a movie because I really love watching Harry Potter, and I really like the Percy Jackson series. And I would just love to be in like a Wizarding World movie, to be honest, because I'm really into all the magic stuff. And yeah, I would love to be in like a lot of different genres, but those are like the two main genres that I want to be in.
Got it. Well, with the trajectory of your career and your talent, I don't doubt that would happen. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have today. We want to again thank our guest Malea and her father Armand for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
To learn more about Malea, please visit maleaemma.com and give her a follow on Instagram at Malea Emma. If you have any suggestions for future topics impacting our API youth, we'd love to hear from you. Also, be sure to subscribe as well as follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, as well as visit our website, asianvoicesradio.com. Until next time, I'm your host, Osden, and we'd like to thank you for listening today. And please join us again next time for another exciting and thought-provoking Asian Voices Youth Radio episode. Take care until then, everyone.